Hi, Purpose Partner. Welcome to another episode of Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission. We are your hosts, Brandie and Natalie.
We are founders of Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising, where we guide women to build profitable businesses online through diversifying your income, using kingdom principles in marketing, and operating in a spirit of rest so that you can create kingdom impact.
After this episode, be sure to join our Purpose Partner Facebook community and get your copy of our Rise to Your Purpose devotional so we can continue to serve you as we partner together in our faith and business. Let's dive into today's episode.
All right. Hey, Purpose Partners. Welcome back to this next episode of Rise to Your Purpose. And I am here today with Elise Smith. She is a Christian business strategist and someone I have just loved getting to connect with. And we were just so in alignment with a lot of the different ways that we love serving women. But I love that she is really helping to, it's just a lot of women that are coaches, consultants, course creators, and really helping with sales in the marketplace, but doing that from a kingdom-driven perspective. So it was very much in alignment with how we are building and helping women in the marketplace, but she can serve a little bit more of a larger audience too. And I know there's a lot of coaches and course creators in our Purpose Partner community too. So I'm excited for them to get to hear from you and learn from you today. And we're going to be talking about heart-centered prospecting, which I think will be a hot topic. But I'd love for you to introduce yourself a little bit, Elise, and kind of how you got into doing your business, and we'll dive in.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Natalie. I love how aligned our purposes are, and it's just so neat to be able to connect with other Christian women entrepreneurs who are making a difference in the space. So it's awesome. So I'm Elise Smith, Christian Business Strategist, and I get to empower Christian women entrepreneurs in the service-based industries to really reach those sales goals that God has put on their heart. And we do that really by partnering with God, empowering their mindset, and utilizing biblical business strategy. I've been coaching for over 14 years now. And really what we do is we take Fortune 500 company principles that are working for those big companies out there that are having massive success. And we feed those principles through the lens of the Bible, which really empowers you in such a divine way so that you can not only build your business in the Lord's way, but you can also gain a closer relationship with God in the process.
I love that. And yeah, biblical principles. And I know that was something that was huge for me when I started realizing like we need to do business differently. So I love that you're helping women to, infuse biblical principles into building their business strategically. So talk with us a little bit about like, what is heart-centered prospecting? I know, especially in the network marketing industry, prospecting is huge, and that's what we're supposed to be, taught to do daily and should always be prospecting. But I know that there's this kind of spammy marketing way that some people are doing or have been taught. And a lot of women they're almost afraid now to go out. They might start their business, but they're almost afraid to send a message because they don't want to, come off wrong or come off spammy or, and so there's this almost overthinking with it too, which is holding a lot of women back. So I would love to hear, what does this look like and what can women be doing to kind of switch up how they are prospecting to still lead into maybe a new client?
Yeah, definitely. And this is something I think that we all struggle with at one point in our business, right? Like I remember when I first got started with business, I was so painfully shy and it didn't even matter. Like just reaching out to someone on social media just made my hands shake. And so the thing is we need to understand where the fear and the doubt is coming from so that we can really step into love and faith, because that's what we want to do. Is we were just talking about this, Natalie and I, of the fact that we are in the people business and we want to build real relationships with people so that we can know how to serve them best. And so it really comes down to whiff them versus whiffed. So everybody's tuned into WIIFM radio station, right? What's in it for me? As you're listening to this podcast or watching this show, you are thinking, what am I going to get out of this? And it's even subconscious, right? And so a lot of times we're focused on ourselves. We're focused on, okay, how am I coming off in this message? Are they thinking I'm spammy or salesy or sleazy? Maybe I don't know how to to really build that bridge from the small talk conversation to what I actually offer. And maybe you just find the whole thing exhausting. Well, if you're focused too much on yourself, then we can't love and serve the other people. And so that's why we're going to turn it from with them to whiffed. What's in it for them? That's when we can love people. In Luke 12:12, we want to really focus on that. The Lord will give you the words that you need when you need them if you're focused on the Lord and the other person, right? That's where that whiffed comes from. And reminding yourself of the fact that your products and your opportunities and the programs and the things that you're offering have incredible value. There is a reason why you are called to the business that you are in. In fact, in 2 Corinthians, it talks about the fact that you are foreordained to walk in good works with the Lord. Sisters, that's your business, right? Like, isn't that incredible? Don't you feel that too, Natalie?
I'm like, and I love when it ties in with scripture. It's like, it is here telling you, like, and it's truth, right? That we can rely on and really believe in, right?
Yeah. So if we focus on ourselves and we worry, even if it's in like an in-person networking event or whatever it might be, we only stumble around our words or we only get mixed up in what we're doing if we're focused on ourselves. But if we really truly focus on that other person and look for ways that we can add value in that conversation, you can never lose. And you're going to see here in just a moment how you can really tie in the needs and identify the needs and then tie that into your product or service so that you will never feel spammy or sleazy or ever again.
Well, I think they're definitely going to be excited for that, because I think that is what I've either seen is definitely women just going ahead and kind of going, I say straight for the kill. Like they're just like, hey, I do this. Would you like this? And you may not have ever had a conversation. And if you've done that, like, we're not shaming you or condemning you, because we've all done it at some point, I'm sure, because here's the thing, you are passionate about your business, or you do want to do well and be successful. But now we can see like, okay, there can be a different way that we approach it. And that can, again, go back into what's in it for them. And that really has to be the mindset shift, like the people over profits. And so yeah, take us through that. Like okay, I'm ready to prospect per se, like we do need to be talking to people in our business. So how can I do and approach that differently? And also, like you said, alleviate that fear, because some people then are afraid to even get started because of maybe that kind of PTSD of something in the past. And so, yeah, kind of walk us through that process.
Yeah, absolutely. So the thing I think is the best way, like we have the best business instruction manual in the Bible. And so we're going to go there and we're going to talk about the most amazing prospecting story and conversation that I ever had. So it's in John 4:6-30, and it's the Samaritan woman at the well. So remember the story, like this is such a cool story. I love it because Jesus decides to stay at Jacob's well to specifically meet this Samaritan woman. Now, Samaritans and Jews, they didn't get along very well. And so that was kind of like a big deal. And so the fact that he was even willing to go there and find her was huge. But the thing about it is, and this is what I want you to think about when it comes to prospecting, is what's your Jacob's well? Right? Where is your divine client hanging out at, either online or offline? Are they in specific networking groups offline or online? What are the Facebook groups that they're hanging out at? That's a really good way to kind of think about Jacob's well, is those places where your divine client is at. And so I love the fact that we can read scriptures and be like, wow, Jesus knew exactly where to find her. And we can know that too, as we partner with God, which I know Natalie and you guys teach so beautifully, of really partnering with God and understanding who that person is and where to find them. So I think that's the first thing, is where can you find that person? And then you can even use that Jacob's well as a connection point. So many times when we start prospecting, we're like, well, what do I say? Like, how do I even start the conversation, right? And so we want to use that Jacob's well as the connection point and say, hey, we're in the same Facebook group of faithful Ladypreneurs, or, whatever that might be. Tell me about your business, or whatever that connection point is. That's the greatest way to start the conversation, is not introducing yourself, which, by the way, we had done quite a bit. Like for years, we had started our conversation with introducing ourselves, but it works even better if you focus on the other person first. And you say, tell me about you, right? Even before we start introducing ourselves, because that's exactly what Jesus did. He said, hey, we're at this really cool well together. Why do you mind giving me some water? He focused on her and giving her the opportunity to serve. And I love it. He speaks her language and he qualifies the conversation to make sure she's looking for living water. Just go read it. It's amazing. John chapter 4.
I love that connection because I'd actually never even thought of it that way of like when I read that story. So I love that you put it into terms like that and relatability to even business of Jacob's well being like, where is your ideal client hanging out? And I think even asking like, yeah, who have you been called to love? Like, obviously we are called to love others, to love God, but like, who has God called you to serve and love on specifically? And yeah, and then where are they hanging out so that you can connect with them and then have that relatability or that connection point with them when you do reach out. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing with that story is he led the conversation. And that's the thing, is that it's not just having a conversation to get to know, about their pets or their kids or something like that. We fall into the small talk trap all the time, especially in network marketing. We're taught a lot of this family, occupation, recreation message. I got so frustrated when I was in network marketing with that, because I was like, okay, by the end of the conversation, I know that they've gone to this college and I know they like to do this, but I have no idea how to tie that into my product or service. And so ask questions that will actually lead to your product or service. And you'll see when you study the Samaritan woman at the well, Jesus asked those questions and led the conversation the entire way.
Yeah. We kind of putting your mentor hat on, right? And even if you're
absolutely
maybe you might not be a coach, but even and I know you serve probably a lot of coaches, so that's a huge piece for them. But even in thinking of the women that are in network marketing, you might not see yourself as this mentor, but you really are if you're going to sponsor someone into your business and you will become their mentor. And so it's putting, even before that step starts, is like the very beginning, just put your mentor hat on and be the leader and guide that conversation. So good to look at that way.
Yeah. So then the next piece is really just having that conversation, right? Looking for the needs of that person and staying within your wheelhouse of your industry. So you're going to start with the hello that's really focused on them. Then you're going to introduce yourself after they've, said, hey, I do this or whatever that might be, right? Warm up the conversation with a couple of really easy questions. But the 3 questions that I want you to ask, no matter what, are these 3. These are so golden questions is what we call them. So the first thing is what is your goal with whatever your area of expertise, right? I'm sure this is really similar to what you teach as well, Natalie, but really understanding like what is their goal with their health if you're selling health products, or their business if you're selling like a business software system or whatever it might be. Everybody loves talking about themselves. So that will give them an opportunity to talk about themselves in a way for you to start picking up on what's important to them. Number 2 is, what do you feel you need in order to accomplish that goal faster or better? Or what do you think is missing in accomplishing that goal, right? That is going to lead directly to their need. We don't have to dance around the subject here. We can literally just ask them, what is it that you need? Just do that in a way that's connected to their goal, because that's the lift, right? That's where they start seeing that's what's in it for me. They want to know why I'm needing this, because they want to help me achieve my goal. And then the third piece is, would you like the link, which we're going to go into a little bit more here in just a second of the solution bridge, but asking about what their goal is and then what they feel like they need to accomplish that better or faster, and leading into your product or service.
I love that. Yeah, that's so good. I hope you guys are taking notes over this. Because the next time you get a prospect, you can follow this exactly. And we would love to hear, like, come back to the podcast, leave a review, or go into Elise's inbox and be like, I tried this and here was the result, because I guarantee you'll probably get a much better response and more information than you ever thought you'd get from the person when you ask those questions, so that you could guide them into the best resource for them.
Yeah. And it's really focused, right? Like we're just following Jesus's lead by leading the conversation in the area that we want to. He didn't talk to her about all sorts of random stuff. He stayed focused on living water during that conversation. So we need to stay focused on our living water as well, right?
Definitely.
Ah, good. So then that last piece is the solution bridge. And this is a 3-step piece that we want to follow to be able to make it really easy and natural to bring up our product or service at the end, because we all want to come off as genuine, and we want them to know how much we love them and how much we want to serve them. And sometimes we do it in such a gung-ho way, like Natalie was talking about, that we scare people off. So instead of just saying, hey, I know I don't know you, but here's a link to my group, I think you'd love it, we're going to build that relationship like we've been talking about and naturally lead to the solution. So the first step in our solution bridge is acknowledging their need. So you say something like, I know that you said that you're looking for more energy to keep up with the kids, right? So we are going to mirror that back to them. When we can mirror that back to them, that's super powerful, because sometimes we say something and we're like, oh, I did say that, right? Have you ever had that happen to you, or you're in the conversation with like a friend and they're like, so what you're saying is, and you're like, whoa, that's so powerful, right? And so we want to acknowledge that we are listening to them. So first is step 1 is acknowledge their need. And then step 2 is offer a solution. And you can do that really easily with a couple of solution phrases, such as, well, have you ever thought about trying a product for that? Or have you ever thought about hiring a coach to work with that? Or whatever that might be. Well, have you ever thought of is kind of that phrase. And then I think you'd really love my free Facebook group. Or what if I were to tell you that you can do that without breaking the bank? Or I'd love to invite you to or it sounds like you might be a perfect fit for, right? Lots of different solution phrases. Pick one that feels good to you. But that's where we want to really start offering our solution. It's super easy to offer a solution to a need that we see. A lot of times that's where we feel spammy or salesy, is when we start offering something before we know what their need actually is, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's so cute. Most people will have that conversation with you if, like you said, if you find the need that of what they want or are looking for, then you can dive even deeper. Yes, I love that. Like how you're leading to the solution, or those
Yeah.
little short ways to what if, or well, what if, I can invite you to this. So I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And then the third one, which I absolutely love, and this is where we really focus on WIFT, right? Is that people are thinking constantly, what's in it for me? Why would I want to join your Facebook group? Why would I want to take you up on whatever it is that you're offering? Is we're going to sell with benefits and invite. Right? So sell with benefits. We're always selling people on the next stage of our sales process. That's super important to remember, is that it's not just when we hop on that sales call or when we send them the link and we're trying to help them make a decision of what product to buy. We are always selling them even on that first stage of our sales process, joining our Facebook group, grabbing a tip sheet, whatever that might be. And so you want to think about, what are 2 benefits that someone can get from you for taking that first step with you. So we have our Faithful Ladypreneurs Facebook group, and we always say that you can advertise your business on Saturday's comment thread, and that you'll get great tips on how to build your business in the Lord's way. So when we offer our Facebook group to someone, we say those 2 benefits, and then all of a sudden they start seeing why they want to take that first step with us. So you can say, with this, you get this, or this will help you to do this. And then we invite and we say, would you like the link? That's another way to keep us out of spammy mode, is that we don't just give them the link, we invite them and we say, would you like the link? And then they feel like they're more in power of that conversation, as opposed to just, being forced down their throat. So sell with benefits and then invite them.
Yeah, I love that. Would you like? That's been one of the things that I love doing as well, because I think too, it again qualifies them. Like they are, if they're continually like, yes, I would like an invite to this, or yes, you can share more about with me. It's you, and it's still, I think, also holds your credibility of you're not like in this desperation mode either. It's like, hey, I have this for you. Would you like it? And if not, no big deal type of thing. So yeah, I do love that phrase as well. This is all so good. Is there any more to that process once I feel like once you get in the group now or whatever that next step is, now you are, working towards the close or that next step, whether it's a call. I know there's so many different things you can do with that. So
Exactly. Yep. Just move them to that next stage of the sales process. Once again, we're going to sell them with benefits and invite them. And that cycle just continues until they buy from you.
yeah. Oh, I love that. There's so many good things there. And I appreciate that you are giving so many tangible steps. So like literally someone can take this, go do it, and can get results from you right away, which I know is so much about like what you're doing in your group and in your programming is really helping women to get results, right? And more sales. And you're so good at teaching that. And especially with your experience that just really educating women on just really how to go about that. But again, always doing that from a biblical perspective and just shifting little things here that can make a big difference. So, and like I said, ladies, like I'll have you share a little bit here too, but in our group, she even did building business God's way. So you can find her again in there too, in Purpose Partners. And then I know your community. So tell us again what your community is too, that women can go and connect with you there.
Yeah. So for Christian women entrepreneurs in the service-based industries, we have our group called Faithful Ladypreneurs. And just like we talked about a few minutes ago, you can advertise in Saturday's comment thread. We also have a membership so that you can do live videos and Bible studies and all sorts of fun things. But with that group, you'll be able to get live videos just like this to be able to really help you grow your business in the Lord's way as opposed to the world's way.
Yeah, love that. And I have to share this a little bit. I know we didn't talk about you, but sharing this on here, but I think it would go perfectly. And then we can either put information in the show notes or you guys can reach directly out to her. But we've been talking about prospecting. And one of the things that Elise has been sharing with me and her team is about a really incredible kind of automated software that allows women to do that prospecting process, but make it more seamless and automated. And still with your authenticity though, and kind of with still you being able to be a little bit in control of that, but it can kind of streamline your process and make it a little quicker. So I'd love for you if you could just give like a quick overview, and then we can put any information in the show notes or people can directly connect with you on Facebook.
Yeah, absolutely. This was huge for me because I've seen all the bots and I've seen those different things that help automate messages. And I felt like I lost heart with that, right? Like the whole concept of heart-centered prospecting is building those real relationships and being able to add that value. And so when I found this system, I was blown away because what it does is it helps to automate the first part of the conversation. And then you can take it from there, utilizing the tools. Like what if you had all of those amazing messages that we kind of just went through, and you had those as just a click of a button. You can go ahead and change anything about it. So it's a real conversation, but usually you're going to take everybody through that same type of process. And you want to take everyone through the same type of process. So you know what's working and what's not working. And so this system helps to automate some of those things, but still leaves that heart in there so that you can build that real connection with the person. But I'll tell you, we save so much time and energy every single day because it does take a lot of time and energy to prospect. We know that. And we save a ton of time and energy to be able to have a system to start the automation for us. And then we can reach even more people that God wants us to reach because of it.
Yeah, love that. So yeah, we'll make sure you guys have information on connecting with Elise in the show notes. And just thank you so much for being a part of this and for the work that you do in the marketplace and how you're serving women. So I'm so glad we got connected and got to do this. Is there anything else you would like to leave as kind of a lasting message for our ladies listening?
Yeah, you know what? I think that if God leads you to it, he will lead you through it, right? And that sometimes is in a very negative concept of like, he'll lead you through the trials, but he'll lead you through that success that you are meant to have. God does not give minimums. Look back on your life and see if there's ever a time that God has ever given you the minimum. And why would he start now? And so the thing is he is ready to just pour out his blessings upon you. We just have to be willing to take that first step.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And we will see you ladies on our next episode of Rise to Your Purpose. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We would love to hear from you. So please share your takeaways by tagging @LiveVictorious over on Instagram and leave a review.
This will help us get more visibility and reach more women like you for the kingdom. We appreciate you and are praying for you as you shine your light in the business world and rise to your purpose.